Mark Rogers TV on college football, looking at the Michigan situation and what does Brady Hoke need to do to survive 2014, and what has happened to this proud football powerhouse. Lloyd Carr won the national championship in 1997, and he consistently won 9, 10, 11 football games each and every season, typically vying for Big Ten championships, although at that point Jim Tressel had kind of taken over the Big Ten, but vying for Big Ten championships, getting to major bowl games, but not really in the national championship hunt year after year. So Lloyd Carr kind of shown the door. He resigned, but shown the door. Rich Rodriguez comes in, and it just wasn't a good fit in regards to personnel. So there was some patience from the knowledgeable fans regarding Rich Rod needing to turn over the roster from a power football team and concept to what he likes to do, spreading out and going up tempo. Okay, Rich Rod goes 5-7, he goes 3-9, and that was enough. He goes to a bowl game finally his third season, but they were embarrassed on New Year's Day by Mississippi State, and it just wasn't headed in the right direction despite some nationally rated recruiting classes in the top 15. So 7-6, and again 52-14. And Rich Rod's last outing against Mississippi State. So Rich Rod shown the door. In steps Brady Hoke, a Michigan man. I don't know exactly what a Michigan man is, despite knowing, obviously, that that particular person has a connection with the University of Michigan. But other than that, what is the philosophy at Michigan? What truly is a Michigan man? Again, despite being in connection with Michigan, what is a Michigan man? Brady Hoke, though, is a Michigan man. And it got off to a great start. So maybe the expectations were initially too high because Rich Rod was a disaster in terms of wins and losses. Brady Hoke comes in, and wow, just like that, they go 11-2. They win the Sugar Bowl. I actually thought the team in 2012 was better despite dropping bats statistically in the standings at 8-5. That 2012 team, yeah, they got blown out by Alabama in week 1. That was a debacle. They were not prepared for that football game offensively with Denard Robinson at quarterback. They would have been in much better shape with Devin Gardner. I know you can't believe that right now, but with Devin Gardner being a passing threat at quarterback, the Tide loaded up against Denard Robinson and completely annihilated Michigan. But again, that was the best team in the country. Other than that, they competed against an undefeated Ohio State team. They really outplayed Notre Dame on the road in South Bend, and if Denard Robinson doesn't throw 3 interceptions, they defeat Notre Dame on the road, the team that went undefeated and went to the BCS championship game. Then South Carolina, an 11-2 SEC team. They took them to the last 7 seconds. Again, they had many opportunities to put that game away, didn't, and lose in the last 7 seconds to Dylan Thompson in South Carolina. So they played really well despite 8-5. And consider, Devin Gardner was a wide receiver at the beginning of the season and didn't play quarterback until the last 5 games and showed a ton of progress and promise for 2013. So 2013 started, and especially since Brady Hoke was bringing in top 10 recruiting classes, it looked like Michigan had something going for 2013, but they severely underachieved last season. The defense was decent. It was pretty good. Didn't make big plays, though. Didn't turn the football over to the offense. Didn't make the big plays. Was not a dominant defense, but a decent defense. A top 30 defense. The offense, though, was atrocious in spots. Devin Gardner turned over the ball way too much. He was too loose with the ball, especially the first half of the season. The offensive line, despite the left tackle Taylor Lewan, who was a first-round pick in the NFL, the offensive line was atrocious, especially not being able to move in the run game, move the defenders back in the run game. This is the stat that exemplifies Michigan football in 2013 more than any. 27 carries, 27 yards, Fitz Toussaint versus Penn State. A decent Penn State defense. So they couldn't run the ball. Devin Gardner too loose with the football, and Michigan goes 7-6. Okay, go into this season. I look at the recruiting classes. Number 7, according to ESPNU. Number 9 under Brady Hoke. Yeah, they slipped a little bit to number 19 and number 31, according to ESPNU. But generally, if you look at the composite 24/7 rankings under Brady Hoke, they've been in the top 15 consistently. So they should be better. Then include, on top of that, they bring in Doug Nussmeier from Alabama. He's got a pedigree of taking a team to a national championship as an offensive coordinator. Before that, he was at Washington. He's been in the NFL. He's developed NFL-style quarterbacks. Greg Mattison, what a career he's had at the University of Florida, winning national championships as a defensive coordinator and defensive line coach. Going to the Baltimore Ravens, establishing a defense that was top 3 in the NFL. He comes back to Michigan. Greg Mattison has actually done a fine job. Think about the defenses under Rich Rod. Unbelievably bad. Like 108th in the country in total defense and scoring defense. Like around number 95 to 100 for those 3 seasons of Rich Rod football. Michigan was Swiss cheese defense. Horrible. Blown assignments everywhere. Missed tackles everywhere. So Greg Mattison has improved the defensive play and the defensive concept. He has had top 20 to top 30 defenses all 3 seasons he's been at Michigan, and now season number 4. Not playing that poorly against Utah, but losing that game 26-10 because the offense is incredibly bad. They've got Derek Green, a top 5 recruited running back. He can't get anything done. The offensive line again in 2014 is horrible. What is going on? They scored 0 touchdowns against Utah. Couldn't even get into the red zone against the Utes. And against Notre Dame, 31-0. Again, whitewashed. So 0 touchdowns from the offense against Utah and against Notre Dame. Brady Hoke, 11-2, won the Sugar Bowl. 8-5, lost the Outback Bowl. Then they go 7-6, lose to Kansas State in the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl. But there was a thread of hope in that game. Shane Morris played instead of Devin Gardner, who was hurt against Ohio State on the last series. Shane Morris comes in, and I thought he played rather well. Yeah, the offensive scheme was dumbed down for him. They didn't let him really take chances downfield, but he threw the ball extremely well, and we will find out in just a couple days whether he's going to get the call in the Big Ten opener against Minnesota. The recruiting classes have been strong. They have not developed the talent. They have a proven offensive coordinator and defensive guru on that side of the football in Greg Mattison. What is going on with Michigan? Brady Hoke not getting the job done. He has got to beat either Ohio State or Michigan State and has got to go. I was thinking this schedule set up for him to go 9-3. Lose to Notre Dame, lose to Michigan State and Ohio State. He is right now 4-6 against his 3 rivals, Ohio State, Michigan State, and Notre Dame. He most likely is going to finish this season at 4-8. What does Brady Hoke need to do to keep his job past 2014? Michigan fans, Big Ten fans, college football fans who look at this situation would love to hear what you have to say about the Michigan situation going into Minnesota this week and beyond. Right here on Mark Rogers TV.